Hello everybody, and thanks for coming by today. I've got a quick project for you. If you're behind on getting your Christmas cards out like I am, I decided I would make me a fairly quick mixed media card that had a lot of interest to it but was still flat enough to mail. So I have some card bases that I got a long time ago at Michael's in a $5 deal, and then I'm going to take some Canson mixed media paper with some Dilutions ink sprays and create some quick backgrounds. So basically I'm doing the same thing on like 5 or 6 different sheets of paper here. I'm starting out by spraying the paper with water first so that the inks will move really well, then adding 2 or 3 colors of inks, a little bit more water in some cases, kind of let them move and run, dry them for the most part, and then as they're dry I'm going to pick up some of the overspray off of my craft mat, and that'll give it more interest and the appearance of texture, if you will, on the papers. Doing a little bit of blotting because I kind of got carried away with the water. And here you see I'm going to blot up some of that, so that's going to give it some kind of some splatter look and some splotchy look in different places. Dry it a little bit more, pick up a little bit more ink, and this is basically the process I'm going to do with all of these sheets of paper. And once all of this part is done, laying the color down, then I'm going to come back with some stenciling and add some more layers of texture, or visual texture I guess I should say. So there you see all the goodie sheets that are done. On those ones with that brown, not real happy with that. That's one of the sprays, and as I blotted it, the green left and it left the brown tone behind. Didn't like that too much, but that's okay. So here I'm going to do some ghost stenciling, and this is one of my favorite things to do with Dilutions sprays because they are so incredibly water reactive. All you have to do is hit them with a little bit of water, let it sit for a couple of minutes, not even a couple of minutes, a few seconds, and then blot that off, and where the water hit it, the ink is going to pull away, and that's what's called ghost stenciling. I'm also going to take some Color Bloom sprays. You'll see me use some Lindy's sprays, some Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist. I didn't want to get too carried away with the shine and shimmer on these. I know, shocking, but just hints of it here and there. So I've just given you little snippets of what I've done on all of these pages with stencils, with sprays, with water. And again, I wanted to keep these fairly flat and fairly lightweight so that they were easy to mail. This turned out neat, a little chevron ghost stencil, but then when I put other stuff over the top of it, yeah, I couldn't really see it. And all of these sprays that I've used, not the Dilutions, but everything else that I've used over the top of it, does have some mica in it, some shine to it. Alright, so I've got those all done, got those all dry. These pieces of paper were 7 by 10, so I'm just whacking them into quarters. So basically I'm cutting them at 5 and 3.5 to get 4 pieces out of each background paper that I created. And these are what are going to layer onto those card bases. If you ever catch that deal, I think it was at Michael's, and it was a great big old pack of, I want to say 40 some card bases in different colors with a texture to them, and I got the whole thing for $5. I just couldn't pass it up. Alright, so here's all my backgrounds, and of course I'm going to ink the edges. I can't not, you know, I can't help myself. And you don't see it too good here, but you can see it better in some of the close-up pictures. It just kind of, to me, gives it a finished look. Alright, now I've decided I'm just going to stamp my Christmas tree stamp directly on each of these and not add an actual other physical layer of paper. So I'm using my stamp positioner. If you've never used one of those, basically it's a piece of plastic and that little handle thingy you see on the left side. You line it up so that the plastic fits into the right angle there, and then you stamp onto the piece of plastic, and that gives you your overlay that you're going to line up on your paper. So you line that up wherever you want it on your paper, put the handle in place, remove the plastic, and then stamp directly onto your item. I probably could eyeball these, but I chose not to. I did actually kind of want them centered. So I decided to go ahead and use the stamp positioner. So I'm going to get all of these stamped, and then and I stamped it in black. I debated whether I wanted to do it in brown, green, or black, and I decided just to do a nice crisp image in black. And I'm going to take my Jelly Roll metallic pen in gold and color over the star on the trees. This did not come out as vivid as I wanted it to. If I would have had time, I probably would have come back in with some stickles, some glitter glue, something like that, that would have really caught your eye. But I didn't want to wait for it to dry. So now, since these are mixed media paper and had a lot of water and they're not real flat anymore, they're kind of lumpy bumpy, and the card bases that they're going on has a bit of a texture to it, a linen type texture to it, I decided to run these through my Xyron machine and get complete edge to edge adhesive on the back of these, so that I know when I stick them down on the card bases, they are there. If you've never used one of these, what you see me doing here is I'm kind of going around the edge and burnishing, if you will, to make sure that that adhesive is disconnected from the edge out. I don't want extra adhesive hanging around. Love the Xyron machine. It is just so stinking easy. And again, I was going for speed kind of on this whole thing to see how long it would take me to do a bunch of cards. I ended up doing 20 backgrounds, but I only had 16 card bases, and all told, with everything, including stamping a greeting on the inside, which you don't see me do, but you'll see it in still pictures at the end, I spent just over an hour and a half making these cards. I didn't think that was too bad. Of course, you know, now I have to write in them and address them and mail them and all that jazz. But hey, the cards are done. So I just wanted to show you that without a lot of effort, without a lot of materials and time, you could crank out some really nice looking, unique cards. And although the layout is the same on all of these, each one is a little bit different because that background piece is a little bit different. So I thank you again for coming by. I hope you have a fabulous day. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.